A big hello and a warm welcome to all of you amazing people out there to my channel, the Twinflame Union, and this is a channeling session. In this channeling session, we have some special guests today, and these are the people from the extraterrestrial domain. So there is one person who is definitely a higher being over there. He's high in the council. He is also present. He doesn't have much to say, but he is present over here. They don't have any gender specifications, but they do have some feminine and masculine qualities. So that's why I'm saying it's a he. But they don't go by the rules and regulations that the people on planet Earth or human beings go through. And they don't do intercourse. If they fall in love with a feminine, they are basically like angels, okay? All of them. But they have love and they have one loyal, committed partner. That is a constant thing. And if they want children, they can make children. But they don't make children, but they can if they want to. So one of them is from that higher council. And you also have to know in this reading, in this channeling, that twin flame couples are obviously special. This channeling is more of an energy channeling, and it will definitely have dialogues. It will have a lot of dialogues, but it's more like an upgrade. So the reason for this channeling is they want to raise the vibration of all the people on this journey, and they have intervened in this channeling because there is a divine masculine and there is a divine feminine in this channeling, and they are very much in love with one another and they are very committed. And this is a divine masculine who is very illuminated, but he is very innocent. He cannot fake anything, he cannot do any drama, but he is very sure. So that's why this channeling is an energy upgrade, because both the divine feminine and masculine are very aware people, and they know that, the masculine knows that he loves this feminine and he is the one who will chase her eventually. But in this channeling, he is actually telling her that there is something about you that I'm very drawn to you. And this masculine has no intention, nothing ever for any other woman. He is like in a straight line. He only sees the divine feminine, the only love. But other than that, he is saying that being on a twin flame journey is a very good thing. Having a loyal partner is one of the most important things. So as in when I move on in the channeling, you will get to hear the proper dialogues. Right now, I'm just trying to establish an energy zone so that you know that what is this channeling going to give to you? What is it going to offer to you? Most important thing that they are saying is that only those people can be loyal, can be committed to one person, can be very wise, who know how to live on planet Earth. They are directly communicating with the divine feminines, because all divine feminines should have an idea of what is the ideal divine masculine for them. If they ever come across a false twin or a fake twin or a bad person or a guy who's trying to pretend a lot, they should be very well aware that this person definitely cannot be my divine masculine, or if my divine masculine has to upgrade to my level. Because for a lot of divine feminines who are in advanced places now, because there are all of these different stages like separation, illumination, surrender, then there is standstill, there is law of detachment, then everything happens in 5D reality, the chakra merge. All of this work is about chakra merge. Once the chakra merge happens in 5D reality, then it starts replicating in 3D reality. But everything happens at one end, one side, which is of the divine feminine. So even the divine feminine, once she starts advancing in this journey, once she is very close to the source energy, she would have to make sure that the person she has as a life partner has to be someone who matches her level. She cannot settle for just about anybody, just about anything. If she really has self-respect and if she is really wise, she would prefer to be alone, she would prefer to be detached, and she would be very happy alone, by the way. And I am coaching, right now I'm coaching, and I do therapies for some really amazing girls who are very happy alone, and it's their decision to be alone. They say, and they have told me, and I have also figured it out, that they'd rather be alone than be with somebody stupid who does not respect them or their body or their mind or their soul. So that level of confidence has to be in the divine feminine, that I'd rather be alone than to be with the wrong person. That's why before the divine masculine comes back to her fully upgraded, because if she will upgrade, only then he will upgrade. Remember, he is a mirror. And mirrors only show what they see. Whatever is in front of the mirror will reflect that back. Be it dark, it will reflect dark. Be it light, it will reflect light. Any object you keep, whatever color it is, if it's yellow, it will show yellow. If it's red, red, orange, orange, whatever. So whatever you see in the DM, and if you are very committed towards this journey, towards your ascension, so you will not accept the DM when he is not the right person for you, when he is not upgraded. You will reject the DM. You will not accept him. He needs to come back to you after doing all the work. And you cannot be very rigid about it, because when he will come back to you with offers and proposals and all the goodness and all the change, you will also know it, because even you have changed, even you have upgraded, even you have become a better person, you have healed yourself, you have done therapies on yourself, you have cleared your chakras, you have done a lot of research, and you are very confident. So like attracts like, birds of a feather flock together. So in this channeling, the higher beings, the ETs are involved, and they are telling, and some of them are twin flame guides. So you have to remember that there are other types of guides also, but twin flame guides are specially designed and dedicated for this type of journey. Okay, they are divine masculine and feminines living in very higher realms, and they have been in the 3D reality also at one time. In fact, the monadic twins also, they can communicate with these higher beings, most of the monadic twins, because understand that even in the monadic twins journey, there are many problems till the time they don't recognize who they are, and till the time they don't remove the blocks, and if they have spent most of their life in trauma, abuse, because that's what they chose. We cannot feel bad about it, or even they should not feel bad about it. They chose it, and they're very brave people, and they know how to brace themselves. But they also need to heal their wounds. So they are very aware of this journey, the ones who are on the higher realms, and that's why they come and help in this journey. And that's why they give guidance to a lot of people who seek guidance from them. Shiva and Shakti are also, you can call them a highest level of energy merge, where they also faced all of these stages of separation, of standstill, of illumination, of surrender, of detachment. And if you have read the story of Shiva and Parvati, then I don't know how many of you know it, but if you don't know it, or even if you know it, I'll still say this one point, that when Parvati was reborn, so first she was Sati, then she died, and Shiva went into a very long, deep exile. He was alone for many years. He kept meditating. He never spoke to anyone. He was in his own world. Then Parvati was reborn. So when Parvati was reborn and she was pursuing Shiva, Shiva rejected her many times. And in fact, he also tried to tell her that, look, I live like this. I'm a wild creature. I have these dreadlocks. Look at my hair. Look at the snakes around me. I live with snakes. I live with ghosts. I have nothing. You are a princess. You are a daughter of a princess, and I don't even have a shawl on me. You have all these, expensive silk clothes, and I just wear an animal skin. How will you live with a person like me? And this is after so many years of separation, so many years of separation. He was so hurt and he was in so much trauma. When Sati had killed herself, she burnt herself in fire. And being a goddess, she was so powerful, she got reborn, that too after many years. And it was obviously the penance, the meditation of Shiva that started making him whole again. But he and Sati, they faced a lot of separation. And then Parvati was rejected, and you can imagine why she was rejected, because she went to Shiva. This is what the journey is all about. You should never go to the DM. You should never chase the DM. If you are a goddess energy, if you revive the goddess energy in you, you never go to the DMs. You never go to any man, in fact. You don't have to, convince them. You don't have to tell them that, hey, look, I love you. I'm the one for you. No. They have to do it. They have to recognize it. And then after getting rejected, Parvati went into deep exile and she did deep meditation. She also healed it because she also had the wounds from the past life. As Sati, she had faced so much family problem. There was big issue with the father, and it was because the father had insulted and humiliated Shiva. Sati had killed herself. So there was this huge block that we cannot be together. Our love cannot be complete. So when people come to me for trauma healing, for inner child wounded healing, to remove the wounds, then we come to all of these areas. And all of those people who don't want to do any healing work, they don't want to do any inner work, they can continue cribbing and crying and accusing others and blaming, and then they spend many years in that. Many years go by in that, and there is no result. So obviously you guys are special. You guys are special, and I want to say this to the divine feminine. Most of you have been told throughout your childhood that you are not good for anything. Even though you were special, but you were treated like very ordinary, and you never wanted to, any type of special consolation or special appreciation. In fact, you also, some of you, I can get that energy that some of you also purposely tried to become very normal. If you were very beautiful, you tried to dumb down your beauty. You would try to look not so attractive so that you don't attract any, unwanted attention from horrible people, because you did attract attention. Many of you, the reason you feel so abandoned is because you guys were completely ignored. And it's okay to be ignored, or it's okay to be not given so much attention for being very ordinary, very basic. But when you are actually so special and gifted, and then also you're ignored and devalued, then it really hurts a person, and then their self-respect is compromised, and they go on pleasing other people for love, for appreciation, for a little bit of, acknowledgement, because they don't get acknowledgement, and they do all the work, they take care of so many things. So there are many girls like that, girls and women like that, whose energy I can catch on to, and their biggest source of power is the source, is God, is universe. So all of you advanced people, and when I say advanced, it's not to put any kind of superiority complex in you. In fact, this is the thing that we all have to learn in this journey, to neither be superior nor be inferior. So now that I have established the energy of this channeling session, I would like to start with what they are saying through words. First and foremost, what they are saying is that in this council means that earth is governed by a council of elders. They are called watchers, or they are the people, the benevolent beings who take care of us. And the reason many twin flames got incarnated around this time of this whole scheme of earth is because this is the time the earth has to go up to a higher frequency from the dark ages. So that's why they were sent to planet earth, and that's why they volunteered. So why they had to be born is because you cannot interfere from outside. They cannot interfere from outside. They are not like the dark entities, the dark people who break the pact. Even the dark people, a lot of them got reincarnated on planet Earth, and they live among the humans. They are the reptilians ETs. They are the people who spread all the pollution, the bad things, the incest, the infidelity, the craziness for money, materialism, plastic surgery, having a harem of men and women, cheating, sleeping around with many people, more than one partner. They are full of all these things and they promote it via media, via television shows, via different things. There was a time when they also used to promote pedophilia in many subtle ways, through cartoons, through animation, through the things that even children used to watch. And there is a big conspiracy. They call it conspiracy, but I don't think it's conspiracy. It's currently going on planet Earth, and many of these reptilian entities, people who lived amongst the humans, they were many people who were in high corporations, and they were running the world. A lot of them are going underground right now, and that's why this whole pandemic, this whole coronavirus pandemic or lockdown, all of this has also happened as a result of that. And this is what comes through the channelings. They give this information via the channeling. So now for the new age people or the volunteers who are going to be in this journey and who would be spreading this message, or who would be, if not spreading the message via communication, they would probably be living it up. So when you live it up, then also people get inspired when they see you are living a certain lifestyle with authenticity, with truth, with not scared to show who you are, and not like in a arrogant manner, but in a realistic manner, not scared to be spiritual, not scared to be in the path of God or source energy, not scared of being real, not scared of being someone who believes in the Vedas or the Puranas, these type of things. Because all of us, 10,000 years ago, all of us used to follow similar things. That's why we were all very spiritual people. They are not scared of going for meditation, and that's why there were so many gurukuls back then. And people used to send their children straight away to the gurukuls right after they were born, and they could walk around, talk a bit, and they would feel that, yeah, now my child is ready. They would send the child to the gurukul for many years. They would come back when they were ready for grihast ashram, which is when they were ready to become a householder, get married and all those things. But for all those years, those children, boys and girls, would be practicing meditation, deep meditation. So just imagine how they would be. They would all become very real and very authentic people, and they would learn the study of Vedas. They would learn how to use the herbs and how to use cosmology, how to use the stars, everything completely natural. Okay, so in this channeling, the ETs want you to know, they want you to understand, especially the feminines, what type of person should you be. Okay, and number one, they say is that this is said by them, it is their own word, that you have to be on your own, you have to be independent. This is the number one thing. No codependency, no going up to others, no begging, be it money, be it attention, be it anything. Stand on your feet, stand on your ground is what they are saying. Number one thing. When you learn to stand on your ground, when you learn to be who you are, become totally independent, totally detached, then this whole world will be on your feet. If not on the feet, not like you want, people to kiss your feet or something like that. Because, I always try to differentiate this, because I don't want people by my channeling or by these words fall into the trap of superiority complex. That is even worse than inferiority. So they are saying that the world will be yours. This whole world, you will be the world will be you. There will be no difference, is what I mean to say. Then they say that then you have to be, once you are independent and once you're on your own, you can stand on your feet. And responsibility is important. Running away from responsibility is escapism. And this is the escapism, this is the runner attitude that the divine masculine also has. When he cannot face something, like when he cannot fix something, when he cannot, handle something, he says, okay, let's run away, let's escape. So this escapism is not something that is a good thing. But for the feminines or for anyone now, it's not necessary you're a feminine only, then you're listening to this. You could be a man, but you could be very serious about your ascension journey. You could be one of that also, okay? So you have to be in sync with the other people, with the world. It's not like you are completely intolerant of others. You could love your solitude, you could love your lifestyle, you may not agree with everything, but you would also be at peace with everything. Okay, if someone wants to, wake up till 2 in the night, you won't go and keep giving them lectures. Now, not recently, I would say during the lockdown, I met some ladies and they were living a certain lifestyle, not wearing anything beyond cotton clothes, not eating certain things, boiling the water all the time, waking up in the morning, eating breakfast, blah, 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 everything. But the problem with them was that wherever they would go, they would start forcing it on people. They would be like, hey, you should also do this, you should also do that. And they would judge people so much. So everybody, in their eyes is wrong, and everybody in their eyes needs preaching. They cannot be in harmony with others. That's why this stage of harmonizing happens, because when you harmonize, you can also harmonize with people you may not like or you may not agree with. You might just say, okay, this is how they are, they exist in their own, world or whatever. I don't agree with them, I don't love them, I'm not going to go and hug them, but from the perspective of one love, they exist. And this is how they are, and that's about it, But you will not go and get very troubled with everyone. I have seen some people who are seekers, personally also. They are seekers and they are, in some meditation technique, or they have left the world. But I remember, yes, there was a long time back, there was this lady I met in Pokhara once. She told me that she is doing, some meditation and blah, blah, blah. And she's married and she's away from her husband for many years. And she said that it's better they are separate. He travels alone and I travel alone, but we love one another. The biggest problem with that lady was that though she seemed to be like a nice person, but she was extremely judgmental of others, and she would constantly be fighting with people. Like every time I used to cross the street, I would see her, bashing someone badly. And she would use all these, pick topics like, women go through this, and old age and womanhood, and there are all these victim cards. So be very careful that you don't become a victim. You don't play the victim card all the time. It's good to raise awareness. It's good to be a voice. It's very good to take a stand, because in the mission work, you have to take a stand for certain things, certain areas. That kind of fight is great. That kind of warriorship is great. But you know what I mean? If you're constantly not in peace, if you're constantly cribbing, complaining, that is not required. Otherwise, on the path of dharma, they say on the path of dharma, it is dharm in Hindi, but in English they say dharma. In the path of dharma is what I have been taught, that if you have to stand up for something, which is why Mahabharata also took place, because the Pandavas had to stand up against the injustice that was caused to them by their own cousins. Lord Sri Ram had to fight Ravan because he was doing injustice to himself, his wife, and the whole community, so many humans and so many devtas, and everybody he was torturing. So then you have to stand against the injustice. But you must stand against the injustice. You should not then back out. If you ever come across a situation like that, never back out. But if you keep fighting with every third person, every second person, then you're not in tandem with people. For many disciplines, even in Buddhism, even in Vipassana, we were taught in the discourses by S.N. Goenka ji that you should never become like a vegetable just because you meditate. Just because you meditate, it does not mean that you should take bullshit from all areas, or you cannot be strict, or you cannot, be stern with people. But it should make your heart very peaceful. Even if you have to give a big shouting to someone like someone who's creating nuisance or mischief, you have to take a stand, you have to give him a big shouting according to the situation in the context when it's spontaneous. Do that if it's required. But if that becomes your second nature, then it's not good. So in this, the divine feminines are being told that first, be independent. Number 2, be in tandem with others. Step by step. Then every song, every tune, every step, every dance, everything will be yours. Now the DM who is in this situation, he is one of the DM who has actually learned this by practice, and he has been, as a child, he was a very wise child. Like, how some children are so wise and they have the perfect parents, they have the perfect grandparents who give them always the correct information, the correct upbringing, very supportive and not extremely, like always pumping their ego. They know how to make them humble and graceful. So this divine masculine, since his birth, he was raised by a great, like great grandparents, amazing people who taught them all these lessons. So throughout his life, he has been practicing till the time he meets the divine feminine. So obviously when the divine feminine, he sees her, there is a whole sensation in his body. He's like, oh my God, who have I met? Like, who is this beautiful person? Like, oh, she's so, so pure and so, like attractive. Like, he had never looked at any other woman from that perspective. And I am very sure that in the coming group of volunteers who probably are children or must be in their teenage right now, they are growing up and they are twin flames. Some of them would be like that. They would straight away get into the twin flame journey because they are so wise. And of course, they will also have their share of whatever is in the journey. I don't want to predict anything for anyone. But yes, they will have their share of lessons, but they will be very sure of who they love. Though it might take a bit of time for them to reach that love, reach that, point. But they would be sure from the very beginning. And this path has been paved by people who are currently in this journey. This group volunteer. Some of you would be volunteering for those children. You would be taking care of those children. You would be probably their teachers or their friends, or they would look up to you, things like that. But the whole reason is not the union, the romantic union is not the goal of them also, the New Age volunteers. Because their goal is also to be a part of the mission. So the only difference with them and with you is that because you had to take a lot of this dark energy, you would be taking that dark energy, just like the people before us. They took all the wars, 1 and 2, and even right now is World War III is going on in a subtle way everywhere. So, the volunteers are taking that so that the coming generation at least does not have to face all of that. And in their generation, they would have other things to do, but they would be some of them who are in their 20s or early 20s, or they're in their teenage. They would be a part of this mission work. They would be there to help out. Or you can say that some of you who have age gap situation, your divine counterparts would be younger to you in age, but they have been brought up really well. They have got a very good upbringing, so they know a lot of stuff they already know. But to confirm also, because they have been runners, they don't know yet, they have to get awakened, and their awakening is very important. So this is a divine masculine who's awakened and who's also very wise and who's also very illuminated because of experience. So whatever he was taught by very wise people, he is applying that. And while he is applying that, he is very happy. He's like, wow, this is amazing. This is the path for me, and I am going to be this person.